Everybody, let's let it out. Woo! Part of it.
Ric Flair. Woo!
1974, we got a record deal with Arista Records. There were a lot of people involved in helping us get that, but Ronnie Van Zandt called his manager after a show that we played with him in Nashville and just said, hey, the Outlaws are badass and they got a free bird. And so that endorsement from him and getting involved in our career really put us on the map and helped us get where we wanted to go. And so we got an advance, you know, like some money up front. It was pretty exciting. Of course, we never saw a penny of it, but we got it. And we bought a Dodge Maxi Wagon with it. You know, the one with no windows on the side, just the two front windows by the door, and two seats, one driver and one passenger. And with a love seat, if you mashed it in through the double doors on the side, you could get a love seat in there and it fit perfectly behind the two front seats. So we got that in there. And then Monty and I and Huey built a plywood deck in the back of the van. The whole thing was just covered up in plywood on a deck. And we put a piece of foam rubber up there, a really nice big ass piece of foam rubber. You could sleep back there. So, and the way we were carrying on back then, sleep was pretty easy. All our luggage went up under that platform and we had it figured out. We were on tour, man. It was exciting. And so we hopped in that van and we drove to California. We drove out to Los Angeles and we went out there with our producer, Paul Rothschild, and we were going to record our first album. And we stayed in a very inexpensive, which is a nice way of putting it, motel on Santa Monica Boulevard called the Tropicana. And the Tropicana was like famous in the music business because of all the musical personalities that stayed there. And so when we checked in, Bonnie Raitt's band was there, and that was exciting. And Pure Prelude was in there, they were in there. And I'll be damned if the Outlaws didn't get in there with them and just root around and drink cheap wine, what the hell. The studio was just a couple blocks away. We'd walk to work every morning and go in and record. And we wound up making a record that changed our lives. Changed a lot of people's lives. And it was, I know this gets sort of batted around a lot, but it was in that moment our dream come true. And for anybody who's ever had one of those, it was a very, very meaningful moment for us. And to this day, I still recall it in those terms. So we're going to play that record down for you. A lot of these songs never got played out at all. They just got, you know, sort of slid off to the side and never heard again. But by God, you're going to hear them tonight. We're going to lock the doors, nobody gets out. The first song off this record we're going to play is a song that Huey and Monty wrote in a Days Inn in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. It's called There Goes Another Love Song.